Imagine waking up one morning, scrolling through your news feed, and seeing headlines that make you pause. Headlines about AI writing best-selling novels overnight, or designing entire city blocks with superhuman efficiency. Or perhaps, headlines announcing a breakthrough in medical diagnosis that outperforms every doctor on Earth. This isn't some distant, hazy vision of the 22nd century. This is potentially your future. A future where machines don't just assist us, they think, they create, they work smarter than we do. Where your job, the way you earn a living, the very fabric of your daily life, could be transformed, potentially even handled by an artificial intelligence. The big question isn't if AI will change everything, but when. How long do we truly have before artificial intelligence could reach a level of capability that fundamentally shifts what it means to be human? What does that mean for you? For your career? For the world your children or grandchildren will inherit? Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey through time, through economics, through the cutting edge of technology, to explore these mind-bending questions. And guiding us is a groundbreaking report from June 2023 by AI impact researcher Tom Davidson, delving deep into the future of automation and what he calls AI takeoff speeds. This isn't just academic speculation. This is about bracing ourselves for a future that's not just coming, but might be barreling towards us faster than we can possibly imagine. It's going to be thrilling, yes, deeply unsettling in parts, and absolutely essential for us all to understand. So, let's get straight to the heart of it. What if I told you that, well, within your lifetime, AI could become capable of performing every single cognitive task that humans do today? Think about that for a second. Every task, from the intricate strokes of an artist painting a masterpiece, to the complex problem-solving of a lead engineer designing a bridge, to the nuanced empathy of a therapist, to the strategic thinking of a CEO. All of it potentially automatable. This isn't the plot of a sci-fi movie from the 80s anymore. This is the core question that Tom Davidson rigorously investigates in his pivotal 2023 report. You can find it yourself right now at takeoffspeeds.com. Davidson's work isn't based on hopeful dreams or fearful nightmares. It's rooted in hard data and established economic principles, aiming to build a predictive model for this unprecedented future. His model is designed to forecast two absolutely critical things for you and me. Firstly, AI timelines, meaning when AI will hit those key milestones, like reaching a point where it could automate essentially all human labor. And secondly, AI takeoff speed. This is crucial. How fast AI will transition from being less capable than humans, maybe just a helpful tool, to dramatically surpassing us across the board. Think of it using that rocket analogy from the article. Davidson's model isn't just trying to predict if the rocket will launch, that seems increasingly likely, but when it will leave Earth's atmosphere entirely, and then how quickly it will accelerate into the vastness of space. For your personal world, this translates into profound possibilities. It could mean a future where your current job doesn't just evolve slowly over years. It might transform or even vanish faster than you ever thought possible. It makes you stop and ask yourself, how do you prepare for that kind of velocity? What skills are truly future-proof in the face of such rapid advancement? So let's peer into Davidson's crystal ball, which, as we said, is built not on magic, but on a blend of real-world data and economic frameworks. He defines two critical milestones in this journey toward advanced AI. The first is what he calls 20% AI. This is a point where AI becomes capable of automating about 20% of the cognitive tasks currently performed by humans. Think about your workday right now. What are the more repetitive, structured cognitive tasks? Writing basic reports or summaries, scheduling meetings and managing calendars, sifting through large data sets to identify trends, providing initial customer support responses? These are the kinds of tasks that many AI tools are already starting to handle with increasing proficiency. Hitting 20% AI means AI can reliably and efficiently take these kinds of tasks off human plates on a significant scale across the economy. The second milestone is 100% AI. This is the truly transformative point. It's where AI can perform every single cognitive task humans can do. This isn't just crunching numbers or writing emails. This means composing symphonies that move you to tears, performing delicate and precise surgery, developing breakthrough scientific theories, creating stunning visual art, leading complex organizations, engaging in deep philosophical debate, and yes, even writing compelling content like this script you're listening to. It's the point where human cognitive labor, as we know it today, could theoretically be fully automated. The time it takes to make that leap, from handling 20% of tasks to handling 100%, that's the AI takeoff speed. And according to Davidson's model, this speed could vary dramatically. It could be lightning fast, perhaps taking only weeks or a few months. It could be moderate, unfolding over a few years. Or it could be slow, stretching out over decades. Now picture this very concretely, in your own life, your own workplace. If AI reaches that 20% automation milestone in your industry, your company, or even just your specific role, how long do you think it would take for it to progress from there to running a much larger portion? Perhaps even the whole show. This isn't an abstract thought experiment for economists anymore. This is a question that could fundamentally reshape your career trajectory, your financial planning, and the skills you need to thrive in the coming years. It forces you to consider, am I prepared for a world where the value of my specific cognitive labor might change rapidly? To make these predictions, Davidson's model tackles the problem from an economic perspective, breaking it down into the fundamental ingredients needed to build this 100% AI capability, and then forecasting how fast those ingredients will grow. What are these key ingredients? Davidson identifies two primary resources: compute and algorithms. Think of it like building that skyscraper we mentioned earlier. Compute is the raw material, the steel, the concrete, the physical infrastructure. In the world of AI, compute means the sheer processing power, the number of specialized chips, like GPUs, working in parallel, the energy needed to run them. It's the brute force capability. Algorithms, on the other hand, are the architectural blueprints, the engineering plans. They are the sophisticated mathematical models, the learning techniques, the software frameworks that tell the compute what to do and how to learn effectively. They are the brains that make the raw power intelligent and efficient. According to Davidson's estimates, to make the leap from 20% AI to 100% AI, we're going to need a staggering amount more of something he calls effective compute. His median estimate suggests we might need around 10,000 times more effective compute than we have available to the leading AI models at the 20% mark. Now, this effective compute is a combination. It could mean we get 1,000 times more raw computing power and develop algorithms that are 10 times more efficient. Or it could mean 100 times more compute paired with 100 times more algorithmic efficiency, or any mix in between. This concept is important because it highlights that progress comes from both throwing more power at the problem and getting smarter about how we use that power. But here is where the future gets fuzzy, reflecting the massive uncertainty inherent in predicting unprecedented technological leaps. Davidson acknowledges that this estimate for the required effective compute isn't a single fixed number. His model shows a vast possible range, spanning anywhere from just 10 times more effective compute needed to a mind-boggling 100 million times more. That enormous range underscores just how much we still don't know about the exact path AI development will take. Will we find incredibly efficient algorithmic breakthroughs, or will it require building computing infrastructure on a scale we can barely imagine? Let's bring this to life with a relatable example. Think back to 2018. The first version of GPT, GPT-1, was released. It was rudimentary. It struggled to string coherent sentences together consistently, like a toddler just learning to speak. Fast forward just 5 years to 2023, and we have models like GPT-4, capable of writing full articles, passing professional exams, and engaging in complex conversations. This leap wasn't just a minor improvement. It was powered by roughly 1 million times more compute than GPT-1, while still largely relying on the same foundational algorithmic framework, the transformer architecture. This incredible jump in capability, simply by scaling up compute even within a similar algorithmic paradigm, provides strong evidence for one side of Davidson's equation. Pouring more resources into the current approach can work wonders. It suggests that our current trajectory of building bigger models on more hardware might be sufficient to get us much, much further, perhaps even to 100% AI. But here's the challenging question. What if we hit a wall? What if simply scaling up compute and tweaking the current AI paradigms, like deep learning and large language models, isn't enough to reach the pinnacle of human cognitive ability? What if reaching true 100% AI requires a fundamentally new algorithmic breakthrough, something we haven't even conceived of yet? Davidson's model accounts for this risk, but the evidence from the last few years heavily leans towards the idea that today's approach, scaled up dramatically, could potentially get us there. For you, this translates into a very real possibility. The AI tools you might be using today, maybe using ChatGPT to draft emails, or GitHub Copilot to help write code, or AI art generators for creative projects, these aren't just novel gadgets. They could be the early versions of a technology that, through massive scaling of compute and refinement of algorithms, evolves into something capable of replacing entire professions. It forces us to ask, if the tools I use to enhance my work today could render that work obsolete in just a decade or two, how quickly do I need to adapt? What new skills become essential when the old ones are automated? Now here's where Davidson's model identifies one of the most powerful and potentially fastest-acting drivers of AI takeoff speed. It's not just about building more chips or writing better code ourselves. It's about AI itself speeding up AI development. Picture that snowball rolling downhill. As it rolls, it picks up more snow, growing bigger. The bigger it gets, the faster it rolls, picking up even more snow. This is the feedback loop at play in AI development. Large language models and other AI systems are already becoming powerful tools for the people who build AI. They are helping programmers write code faster, suggesting solutions to complex problems, automating repetitive coding tasks, and even helping researchers sift through mountains of data to find insights that accelerate the development of new, more powerful AI models. We hear stories of AI researchers whose productivity drops significantly when their AI coding assistants or research tools are temporarily unavailable. That's a real-world example of the feedback loop starting. This feedback loop is like AI writing its own sequel, and each successive version is smarter, more capable, and crucially, better at building the next version. An AI that can design better chips, write more efficient code, or even develop entirely new algorithmic approaches will dramatically accelerate the pace of progress beyond what humans alone could achieve. Davidson's model incorporates this using an economic tool called the CS production function. Economists use this function to understand how different factors of production, like labor and capital, contribute to output, and importantly, how the automation of one factor can impact the whole system. Think back to the Industrial Revolution. The steam engine was a new form of capital that automated physical labor. This boosted productivity, changed markets, and eventually led to the creation of new industries and jobs. But it also displaced manual laborers. Davidson applies this logic to cognitive labor. Today, AI is the new steam engine, automating cognitive tasks. But unlike the steam engine, AI can also automate the creation of more steam engines, or better ones. This is the core of the accelerating feedback loop. Think again about your workplace. If AI starts drafting reports, analyzing complex data sets, or even managing initial project planning faster and more effectively than your human colleagues, it could certainly free up human talent for more creative, strategic, or interpersonal tasks. That's the positive spin. But it could also make certain roles or significant portions of those roles obsolete very quickly. Davidson's model suggests that this feedback loop isn't just a gradual push. It becomes a powerful pull, especially from investors. Once AI hits a certain threshold of capability, say, automating that 20% of tasks across a significant portion of the economy, the economic return on investing in AI development becomes astronomical. Investors will pour in unprecedented amounts of money, buying more compute, funding more research, and fueling this feedback loop even faster. This influx of capital, combined with AI's ability to accelerate its own development, could potentially shrink the timeline from 20% AI to 100% AI dramatically, potentially to just a few years. Imagine you're planning your career in, say, 2030, based on the skills and industries valuable then. If AI reaches the 20% milestone around that time, and the feedback loop kicks in powerfully, you could find yourself in a world where 100% AI is achieved by 2033. A 3-year window to adapt to a world where AI can do everything humans can do? That's a pace of change humanity has never experienced. What skills, what knowledge, what mindset would you need to cultivate today to even begin preparing for that kind of rapid transformation? All right, let's get to the numbers. Based on his model, running thousands of simulations using a Monte Carlo method, which essentially means trying lots of different plausible inputs to see the range of outcomes, Tom Davidson's report provides a fascinating and perhaps unnerving median forecast. His model predicts that AI could be capable of automating essentially all human cognitive labor, reaching that 100% AI milestone by 2043. And the takeoff speed? The median prediction for the time it takes to go from 20% AI to 100% AI is strikingly fast, just about 3 years. So putting those together, the median forecast suggests that AI might become capable of handling 20% of human tasks around the year 2040. Think about the world in 2040. It feels relatively close, right? In this scenario, AI could be common for tasks like sophisticated customer service, drafting detailed legal documents, performing initial medical diagnoses, or handling advanced accounting procedures. And then, within just 3 years, by 2043, it leaps to 100%, mastering everything from complex surgery to creative writing to leading scientific discovery. And this is critical. Remember that range of uncertainty we talked about? Davidson's model doesn't just give a single number. It shows a wide distribution of possibilities. There's a 10% chance that 100% AI could arrive much, much sooner, before 2030. Yes, that's less than 5 years away from when this report was published in 2023. Imagine a world fully capable of automating cognitive labor unfolding in less than half a decade. On the other end, there's also a 10% chance that it could be delayed significantly, possibly arriving sometime after 2100. This might feel more comfortable, pushing the major disruption further into the future. But even then, for many people watching or listening today, that's still a potential world-changing event within a typical lifespan. The takeoff speed is equally uncertain and potentially more impactful in the short term. While the median is 3 years, there's a 10% chance the takeoff could be incredibly fast, taking under 10 months. Think about that. A transition from 20% automation to 100% in less than a year. And on the flip side, there's a 10% chance the takeoff could be much slower, potentially taking over 12 years. What do these numbers truly mean for your life, for your children's future, for the skills you're building? If you're a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, an artist, an engineer, or work in any profession that relies on cognitive skills, a median timeline of 2043 gives you less than 2 decades to prepare for a world where AI could potentially outperform you in many aspects of your work. Even the slower takeoff scenario, 12 years, suggests a pace of disruption far faster than previous technological revolutions. For instance, if AI reaches 20% automation in teaching tasks by 2040, handling grading, personalizing lesson plans, administrative work, a 12-year takeoff would mean it could automate all teaching tasks by 2052. That's still a rapid shift for an entire profession. But think about that fast takeoff scenario. Under 10 months. A transition from 20% to 100%. Automation in under a year could upend industries and society virtually overnight, leaving almost no time for individuals, institutions, or governments to adapt. How would you pivot your career, your financial situation, your very skill set, if your industry was fundamentally transformed in less than a single year? Davidson's model, which you can explore yourself at takeoffspeeds.com, isn't just a set of predictions. It's an interactive tool. You can plug in different assumptions about compute growth rates, algorithmic efficiency improvements, or even the strength of the feedback loop, and see how those changes shift the timelines and takeoff speeds. We highly encourage you to try it. What future do you predict when you play with the numbers? It's a powerful way to grasp the sensitivity and the stakes involved. To ground these almost unbelievable predictions, let's take a moment to look back at history. The closest parallel we have to the potential scale of this change is arguably the Industrial Revolution. Over a period of several decades, the Industrial Revolution fundamentally transformed the world by automating physical labor with new machines powered by things like steam engines and later, electricity. This led to unprecedented boosts in productivity, the creation of factories, mass production, and incredible wealth generation. But it also caused massive social upheaval, displaced agricultural and craft workers, led to urbanization, and created new societal structures and inequalities. AI today stands poised to do something similar, but for cognitive labor. Just as steam engines amplified human physical power, AI is poised to amplify and potentially exceed human cognitive power. It could similarly boost productivity on a scale we've never seen. However, there's that critical difference we highlighted earlier. Unlike the steam engine, which couldn't build a better steam engine, AI has the capacity to improve itself. This self-improvement creates that feedback loop, accelerating progress in a way that wasn't possible during the Industrial Revolution. Davidson's model draws on economic frameworks used to study historical periods of automation and applies them to this new context, trying to forecast how AI might reshape markets, job categories, and entire societies. During the Industrial Revolution, new jobs did emerge: factory managers, engineers, mechanics, clerks. But this transition took decades, spanning generations. A fast AI takeoff, as predicted in some scenarios, might not give society or individuals that same luxury of gradual adaptation. If AI automates your current job function, whether you're an accountant, a graphic designer, a customer service representative, or even a doctor, what new roles can you imagine stepping into? What are the skills that leverage uniquely human capabilities or interact with AI rather than compete directly against it? This historical lens also sharpens our focus on the potential risks. The Industrial Revolution brought immense progress but also significant downsides. Vast increases in inequality, harsh working conditions, social unrest, and environmental damage. AI has the potential to amplify these kinds of risks. A world where AI runs most industries and performs most cognitive tasks could lead to unprecedented wealth creation. But that wealth and power could become incredibly concentrated in the hands of those who own, control, and develop the most advanced AI systems, potentially a small number of tech giants or even nation-states. This could create a chasm between those who benefit from AI and those whose livelihoods are displaced by it, potentially leading to new forms of inequality and social division. While Davidson's model focuses on the economic and technological timelines, it's important to remember that it doesn't fully account for complex social or political factors. Things like widespread public resistance to automation, ethical concerns leading to tight regulations, geopolitical competition or cooperation, or unforeseen societal disruptions could significantly influence AI progress. These factors could potentially slow down the takeoff speed, or, in scenarios of intense competition, perhaps even accelerate it or spark conflict. Imagine that potential future where AI is the engine of most industries, from transportation and logistics to healthcare and finance, but only a select few entities hold the reins of this power. How would you ensure that such powerful technology is developed and deployed for the benefit of all of humanity, rather than just a privileged few? How would your voice be heard in shaping the rules and norms of that AI-driven future? These are questions we need to grapple with now. It's crucial to reiterate that Davidson's model, powerful as it is not a perfect crystal ball. It's a sophisticated tool designed to navigate a future filled with profound uncertainty. Its estimates, particularly the range of possible outcomes, depend heavily on assumptions about things we can't know for sure. Will the current paradigms of AI, like deep learning, truly scale up to 100% AI? Or will we hit fundamental limits in our algorithms, our data, or the efficiency of our hardware? If we need a completely new scientific breakthrough to reach higher levels of AI, that could significantly delay the timelines. Other unknowns include potential limits on the availability of the massive amounts of training data needed for future AI, or the societal pushback we just discussed. Will governments step in with heavy regulations if automation causes mass unemployment or raises significant ethical flags? Any of these factors could potentially slow down the projected takeoff. Yet even when accounting for these uncertainties and running conservative scenarios, Davidson finds it difficult to imagine a future where 100% AI arrives later than, say, 2060. This suggests that a world-changing technological shift of this magnitude is not a distant fantasy. It is highly likely to occur within the lifetime of most people alive today, whether you are just starting your career in your 20s or nearing retirement in your 60s. The question isn't if the world will change fundamentally due to AI, but rather, how soon and how fast. For you, this probability raises very practical questions. If AI is likely to reach 20% automation capability across the economy within the next decade, the median is 2040, but remember that 10% chance of 100% before 2030. How will you adapt your skills and career path? How will you ensure you remain valuable in a changing landscape? Davidson's model powerfully highlights the exponential nature of the feedback loop. As AI improves, it doesn't just move forward linearly, it accelerates its own progress, driving more investment and faster development. This potential for rapid acceleration is perhaps the most unsettling finding, as it suggests we could be caught off guard, with less time to react and adapt than we might intuitively feel comfortable with. Imagine you're planning for long-term goals, like retirement or your children's education, based on today's economic realities, only to find that AI has reshaped the fundamental structure of the economy and the value of different types of work in just a few short years. How can you build resilience and flexibility into your plans for such inherent uncertainty? So, what is the overarching lesson we can draw from this deep dive into Tom Davidson's work? The future isn't preordained, but it's certainly not static, and it's coming towards us with potentially unprecedented speed. Davidson's model, with its median prediction of 100% AI by 2043 and a rapid 3-year takeoff, suggests we likely have less time to prepare for this transformative shift than many of us might assume. Even the more conservative scenarios point to this change happening within our lifetime. The key takeaway isn't to panic, but to understand and to act. The key is to stay curious, to be adaptable, and most importantly, to be proactive. Start by learning about AI now. Don't just read the headlines. Try to understand the technology, its capabilities, and its limitations. Play with the tools that are available today. Experiment with generative AI for creative tasks. Use automation tools for repetitive work. Explore resources like takeoffspeeds.com to visualize the potential timelines and understand the drivers. The more familiar you are with the technology, the better equipped you'll be to navigate its impact. Critically, invest in developing skills that complement what AI is good at. Skills that leverage our unique human strengths. These include things like creative problem solving, critical thinking, complex communication, emotional intelligence, empathy, collaboration, and interdisciplinary thinking. The ability to connect ideas across different fields. These are the areas where human value will likely remain highest, even in an AI-rich future. Stay informed about how AI is impacting your specific industry and your profession. Whether you're in tech, healthcare, finance, education, retail, or the arts, AI is already beginning to make inroads. Understanding these trends will allow you to anticipate changes and position yourself strategically. And finally, don't just wait for the future to happen to you. Participate in shaping it. Advocate for policies that ensure the development and deployment of AI benefits humanity as a whole, not just a small segment. Support initiatives for retraining and upskilling displaced workers. Engage in discussions about the ethical implications of AI and push for safeguards. The Industrial Revolution showed us that while technology can bring incredible progress, it can also exacerbate inequalities and cause social pain if not managed thoughtfully. It is up to us, collectively, to choose the path forward. A path where AI is a tool that elevates all of humanity, rather than one that leaves many behind. So, as you reflect on these possibilities, on the potential for a future reshaped by artificial superintelligence, what comes to mind? How do you think AI will personally change your life, your career, your plans in the next decade or two? Are you feeling a sense of excitement for the potential advancements? Nervous about the uncertainty and disruption, or perhaps a complex mix of both? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this absolutely vital conversation going. Your perspective is part of shaping our collective future. And as always, we wish you good health and a future full of possibilities, adaptability, and human connection. If you found this deep dive thought-provoking, please subscribe to our channel for more insights on understanding and navigating the accelerating AI revolution.